It's another lovely new day and the beginning of another lovely week. I need to welcome you to Atlantic TV is Viewpoint. And you do know it's a program that is channeled into making your lovely morning and indeed your whole day look enjoyable. And what better way to start it up rather than start it right here with us. My name is Michael Gobadia. I truly want to welcome you to Viewpoint on Atlantic TV.
Yes, welcome to Viewpoint and happy new week. Yes, of course, you know, Monday is a fresh start. This is a fresh week and a very first day of the first week. So you know you have to start it right and with a lot of energy and purpose. Yes, this is Mercy Irabo saying welcome to Viewpoint on Atlantic Media and TV. And right about now, we'll be going into the dailies. But before that, let's go on a quick break.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Well, the dailies is where we're going next, and just like we always do, we need to review the papers and see what they have on their major, or rather, on the front pages of their dailies. Now, to review, we have 5 papers for review today. We have The Punch, The Vanguard, This Day, The Nation, and also The Guardian to guide us through. But to start, let's see if we start with The Punch, as usual, and see if The Punch has a major one. And on The Punch this morning, it seems to be a major indeed. Nupeng vs. Dangote union insists on strike, needs federal government orders today. And just take a rider because of time. Labour Minister begs union to shelve industrial action. But I'll tell you not to shelve that story, but continue more of that story on page 21 of the Punch newspaper. Let's quickly go to the top mass of the Punch and see if we have other major leading stories. Lending rate may fall as inflation eases, and this is credited to the Central Bank of Nigeria. But I'll tell you, page 30 has the story. Accountant General plots to preempt a Supreme Court set to pay Osun local government funds to court sacked APC chairman. And Councillor Norgay cries out. But I'll tell you, don't cry on that story, but we'll go read it on page 9. Let's see if we take some other leading stories at the side mass of the Punch. Natasha to resume Senate after London trip. This is accredited to the lawyer of page 14. Naira strengthens to 1,514 Naira per dollar. Yes, 5-month high. And you can get more of that story on page 23. But one that seems to be more of an advert is Leadway Holdings announced acquisition of PAL pension. And I'll just tell you, get that story on page 28. The picture of the day is that very sad incident that played out a day before yesterday in Ukraine as Russia attacked at the first Ukraine government building. And indeed, it looks as if the war is not going to end anytime soon. But anyway, that's the end of the Punch. Next, we definitely have to go on.
Let's see what the nation has for us this morning. The major story here reads, troops hit terrorists in nationwide crackdown. And the rider states, bandits commander, others killed. Well, you can read more of that story on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Let's see if we have more. Just right at the top of the top story, new customs duty exemption rate takes off. That's on page 9. Minister to meet Nupeng and others. That's on page 4 at the top mass. Why Lagos, Abuja top destinations for FDI. That's on page 19 of the paper. Naira rallies on sustained forex growth. Well, that's on page 2 of the paper. United Airlines acquires 6 Boeing 737-800 aircraft. That's on page 4. Blackout enters 2 weeks in parts of Benin. That's on page 6 of the paper. Let's see what we have at the side mass. No need for strike during talks. Education Minister tells ASU and ASOP. Well, that's on page 4. Kado saw why CBN will sustain monetary tightening policy. That's on page 2 of the paper. INEC's recognition of Gabam-led ESCO throws SDP into confusion. Well, that's on page 5 of the paper. And the picture of the day is that of an official of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, that is the NDLEA, inspecting drugs at the West African Container Terminal, the WACT, at Port Harcourt Port Complex. Well, that's all we're taking this morning on the Nation newspaper. Let's see what this day has for us today. The major story reads, El Rufai, there are now more poor Nigerians than our 1960 population. Let's take one rider to the story. The cries persistent low voter turnout seeks true federalism. Well, if you want to read more on that, you can go to page 5 of the paper. Let's see what we have. A federal government calls for a truce as Nupeng vows to embark on strike today over disputes with Dangote. And the rider says petrol retailers declare shutdown for Tuesday. Well, you can read more of that on page 5 of the paper. At the top mass, NULGE, AGF plotting to preempt Supreme Court set to pay Osun local government funds to APC chairs. A councillor sacked by court. Well, you can read that story on page 5 of this day newspaper. Let's see the picture of the day. Yes, it's that of the 80th birthday Thanksgiving of the presiding Bishop of Trem, that's Bishop Mike Okonkwo. Well, happy birthday to Bishop Mike Okonkwo. That's all we're taking this morning on this day newspaper. Let's see what the Guardian has for us this morning. Yeah, the major story here reads, National Grid faces 5.6 trillion revenue loss as premium customers exit. Well, that's on page 6 of the paper. At the top mass, Dangote Nupeng face-off. A federal government urges a caution. That's on page 3. Sowore CSOs push back as DSS asks X to delete anti-Tinubu tweets. Well, that's on page 3 of the paper. Customs exempts $300 parcels from tax as cargo owners decry duty payments disruption. Well, that's on page 4 of the paper. Let's go to the side mass. Mayhem as thugs invade rally for Obi Roads Vival in Lagos. Well, that's on page 5 of the paper. Prominent Nigerians push for electoral reforms ahead of 2027 polls. That's on page 29 of the paper. Insecurity, Northern leaders demand state of emergency. A sack of service chiefs. That's on page 6 of the paper. Army neutralizes 4 terrorists, arrests 64 suspects in nationwide operations. That's on page 8. Parents gone as schools resume. Imo outlaws some practices. That's on page 29 of the paper. Leadway Holdings announces acquisition of PAL pensions. Well, that's on page 18 of the paper. And the graph of the day, it's titled Invoice Settlements in Power Sector Subsidies Overview, and it explains why the national grid faces a 5.6 trillion naira revenue loss as premium customers exit. Well, that's all we're taking this morning on the Guardian newspaper. Up next is the Vanguard.
And on the Vanguard, the leading story reads, Dangote Nupeng face-off, federal government moves to a VAT nationwide strike. Riders to that says someone's fielding parties to emergency meeting today. But I'll tell you to get more of that story on page 5. DD Microfinance Bank, how we turned deficit to big balance sheet, and this is accredited to Enajomo Isere, and you can get that on page 15. United Nations article will be in Dime, Ridge over killing of 63 in Brno. Demand probe is Governor Zulum visit affected communities, and I can tell you to visit more of that story on page 13. NLC federal government workers demand minimum wage, and more of that demand is on page 9. But let's see if we take some other leading story just at the side of the Vanguard as we take more. 2026 World Cup Osimhen out of South Africa clash. A sad one for Nigerians, but I know South Africans are cheering. Local government funds, Osun Norgay wants OAGF, and CBN over plot to preempt Supreme Court judgments, and you can get more on page 10. Interest rate, manufacturers look beyond banks for survival is another major one on page 23, and you can get all that story right there on it. And let's just see the picture of the day is that of more of the business, and you can get all that dignitaries right there. And you can see more as it concerns promoting Nigerian European trade, investment, and exchange. And that's that very one on the picture of the day. But that's much you can take from the dailies this morning. You do know, we always implore you to go grab a copy of the dailies, read up and get informed, because all you do, an informed mind is not a deformed one. But what we'll do now is go on a break, and you do know dialogue will be next, right here on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV.
All right, my name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor Adi.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, Ninja Celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere or I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different. When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined, uniquely different.
The plan implementation of the 5% surcharge on refined petroleum products, including petrol and diesel, starting on the 1st of January 2026, is being opposed by stakeholders in the extractive sector and civil society organizations. This came as Petroleum Petrol Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria says this law, if empowered, could in every way cause its marketers and members to close business. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had on June the 26th of 2023 signed the Nigerian Tax Administrative Act, which include the 5% surcharge on refined petroleum products to take effect from January 1st, 2026. The federal government said the Nigerian Tax Administration Act aims to boost non-oil revenue and promote fiscal sustainability. But the surcharge comes at a particular sensitive time for Nigerians. The removal of decades-old fuel subsidy in 2023 tripled petroleum prices overnight, causing inflation and eroding household income. Since then, transportation fares and the cost of goods have soared, with many Nigerians now scared that once implemented, the new tax will further increase living cost. Consumer groups also worry that the surcharge could worsen inflationary pressures, particularly since diesel is widely used in Nigeria for powering businesses and transporting goods. But the big question now on the lips of many is, will this federal government, or rather, if the federal government go ahead to implement its plan in 2026, will it not also bring about a really deep social unrest, or will the growing call make the government jettison this very plan? Well, a look at how it concerns Nigeria and also the issue of the 5% surcharge on petroleum product is what this edition of Dialogue is now centered on. And we're looking at the 5% surcharge on fuel. And that's what we're having as a critical one today on this Monday edition of Dialogue right here on Atlantic TV. We're looking at that seems to have really hit up the polity, especially as it concerns many Nigerians, and especially when we heard, or rather Nigerians heard the news just last week. But anyway, we're not there at last week. We are right here in Atlantic TV, and in this week, trying to look at the issue. And to help us look at the issue right here, we have no other person but Comrade. He said I should always put Comrade. He prefers it. We're talking of Comrade Emeka Onkocha. You're of the Civil Society Group for Good Governance and Democracy right here in Delta State. Good morning, Comrade Emeka Onkocha, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Mike. Thank you for having me.
And we will also later be joined by no other person but Mr. Ben K. Adams. He's an economist with Nixon Bank, and he'll be joining us all the way live from Abuja to also give us his view as it concerns it. But when we finally connect with him, we'll be bringing him on board. But anyway, let's quickly go into our discourse this morning. Now, as much as I would love to get your reaction as it concerns this new subcharge, I rather want us to start our bone of discussion in actually looking at what this subcharge means. And not just only what it means, but why are Nigerians really agitating about it? Especially knowing your civil society organization, just like I said in my introduction, is joining hands with other civil society organizations to come out to say they are not in any way in support of this new subcharge. So let's understand what this subcharge means for Nigeria and why there's this growing agitation, especially from civil society organizations like yours.
Yes, Mr. McCree, you will recall that when your president, was doing a throwback.
Our president, rather.
Yeah, your president was doing a throwback. He did mention that he understands the pains Nigerians are going through following the removal of fuel subsidy.
Yes.
I want to quote him, that he understands the pains. So it is not that he didn't know the impact, the negative impact the removal of fuel subsidy has brought upon the Nigerians.
Yes.
And Mike, let me take your mic back.
Okay.
Petrol was 187 naira per liter.
Yes.
When he came on May 29, 2023, and jacked up the price to about 950 naira a liter. That amount to 382% increase, Mike Ray.
Yes.
On that platform, that alone defies every economic reasoning. Now you have seen, that means that, the purchasing power of Nigerians, lose value to the tune of 382%.
Okay.
And you have seen how the price of commodities has reached the roof. Nigerians can no longer, buy food to eat because cost of transportation, is abnormal. It's not something one would want to wish even your enemy. When Nigerians are still struggling under this pang of poverty, pang of abandonment by the government, your president is coming again, not even bringing a palliative, to now say he wants to charge every liter of fuel again at the rate of 5% by taking effect in January 2026. Do you know what that means? That is assuming we are going by MBS statistics that 133 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor. That means we are going to have more Nigerians that will throw into the poverty bank. And that tells you now that Nigerians many are going to die of poverty, many are going to die of hunger, malnutrition.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, it is a poorly thought out idea. And that idea, what that means that it presents the mind behind the policy as being insensitive to the plight of Nigeria, bitter plight of Nigeria. And he is so punitive. He is so punitive and he holds so strongly to punitive policies that we annihilate the people. That will subject the people to perpetual penury and enslave the people and leave them at the lodge. So these are the adjectives I will use to qualify your president. That was why I referred him to your president, because for me, the man President Bola Tinubu had disappointed the 220 million Nigerians because we thought that he was coming to bring succor. Remember that he is telling you that he is coming with a renewed what? Yes, he patterned his administration to a renewed hope in anger, a renewed hope in hunger, a renewed hope in deprivation, a renewed hope in pauperizing Nigerians who have done him no evil, no ill.
Comrade Emeka Nwokocha, we plead with you to calm down. He's still our president and the president of...
he remains the president.
Okay, well, now...
He must fit it.
Let's look at the reasons for this very increase. Let's look at government reason for this increase. I'll plead with you to hold on. Now, we on Dialogue, on Viewpoint, on Atlantic TV, were fortunate enough in doing our job in getting the comments of no other person but Mr. Taiwo Oyedele. You do know he's the chairman of the Presidential Committee of Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform. Now, according to what he told us, let me just state it. He said the fuel levy forms a part of a broader tax reform, and also it's helping to simplify Nigerians' complex tax system. That's what he said. And also boosting government revenue as to indeed develop some major critical sector. And the sector he talked about is road infrastructure and also maintenance. Now, also according to our findings, we know that we are already at a deficit of 16 trillion naira as it concerns the current road infrastructural development in the country. And we need a whooping 120 billion United States dollars if we are to indeed complete the entire federal road network that this administration intends to do. So my question now is this not valid enough for this 5% increase in tax, knowing that it will be going for critical infrastructure, especially that of the road maintenance? Is it not a valid?
If I get you rightly, I hope the man you just mentioned his name, Taiwo, is getting his acts right. Let me tell you, you will still recall that your government is saying that that's 5%, will help to fund the renewable energy project.
A part of it.
To accelerate the government shift from fossil fuel to cleaner energy.
A part of it.
Good. Now let me bring it back on board. Sir, your constitution or the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, which your president swore to on 29th May, that he would, gorgeously, he would hold it and uphold it. The sacrosanctity of that constitution.
Yeah.
Chapter 14, section 14, under chapter 2, tells that the primary purpose of government is what? The security and the welfare of the people, which your president knows better than I do.
Yes.
Now, it's all about priority. What that tells you is that the people's well-being is paramount.
Okay.
The people's well-being is the essence of governance. Now, you are talking about road infrastructure. Road infrastructure, when UNICEF has told you that 2 million Nigerians are suffering from severe acute malnutrition.
Okay.
And not about a percentage of them, could get cured. It has come to tell you that among that 2 million who are already going through severe acute malnutrition are at the risk of death. UNICEF has come to tell you, engage you, that something must be done to save 2 million Nigerians from dying of malnutrition.
But if there's adequate road infrastructure, would business not strive? Would the economy not be boosted? Will Nigerians not have a living?
Mike Ray, what I'm talking about, your government should not be speaking to Nigerians as if we are dons. Your government should not be speaking to Nigeria as if we are in the kindergarten style. Mike Ray, what road infrastructure? Are you building road in the moon? Road infrastructure, paving of land, the road, and putting laterite and putting granite? Is that all you're talking about? What we are saying is this, Mike Ray. Over the years, what has always, been at the forefront of the government, right from, let me say, 1999, has always been government is constructing road, government is building road. There's no government that will come on board. They are not talking about we are building road, we are building road, we are building road. Mike Ray, let me tell you, is it not time to shift the narrative, to fix the critical issues that concern humanity, that concern the people? Okay. You are building road, and I have told you here that which one now, Mike Ray, if you put it on the scale of preference, which one should you go for? 2 million Nigerians are suffering from severe acute malnutrition, and they are at the risk of death because they don't have food in their belly. You are telling me you are building roads, Mr. Mike? What are you talking about? See, the government is indicting itself. The government is showcasing and advertising incompetence, ineptitude, and Nigerians, are clapping. Though the Nigerians who are not properly informed, who do not have the data on the tips of their hands, are clapping. But let me tell you, Mr. Mike, I am here, to disabuse the mind of Nigerians who do not understand what government is all about. The government is all about service delivery about the people. The people are paramount. He should not come to tell him. I want to challenge the president. If he tells me he does not have food to eat in the morning like the ordinary Nigerians in the street, I will say, okay. But this is the man who has all the best to eat. And when he comes, he does not consider the interest of Nigeria, both Nigerians in Okitipupa, both Nigerians in Jalingo. He does not consider the interest of people where people are dying of hunger.
Comrade Emeka Ugocha, I will still plead with you to calm down. Now, this will not be the first time Nigerians will be having this tax reform bill. If you take your mind way back to 2007, this bill has always been in existence. We could still also remember in 2016, the National Assembly as of that time told the central bank to release almost 682 billion naira that was accruable to FEMA on account of this same tax. So it is not a new tax bill that has just been made by this administration. It has always been in existence since 2007. So it is good we set the record straight. But my next question now, because you seem to really be aggrieved with this bill, and I understand your civil society organization, just like others, are already kicking against it. But my next question, now, apart from this strong reaction you are giving on this issue, another major strong reaction concerning this very issue came from no other person but Peter Obi, the former Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 general election. And I was able to understand when I looked at his X handle that he said the timing is wrong. He's not kicking against the bill itself, but he feels the timing is wrong. So my next question, do you feel the timing is the issue of the bill itself? Let's understand where this anger is. Because this bill has always been in the law. 2007 is when this act was reestablished, undermining this administration when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed it on June 26, trying to see if he can kickstart that very tax bill. But my question, do you feel just like Peter Obi, the timing is wrong, or we should just throw away the baby and the bathwater? What's your view on this?
The baby is a living being and he has right to live.
Okay.
So you can't throw away the baby and the bathwater.
So let's understand where
in the context of this.
Yes.
Right. Everything about this is bad.
So not the timing.
In the context, not the timing.
Peter Obi feels it's a good law, but the timing is bad.
It ought not to be mentioned. It ought not to be conceived. It ought not to be planned. It ought not to be, about to be implemented. Everything about it is wrong. That he should do what? Stay execution. You should go backward to the drawing board. My creed, did I tell you here?
Yeah.
That NDS says 133 million Nigerians are multidimensional in 2022 before he came with his punity policies.
Okay.
Policies that has put Nigeria in this state we find ourselves. That means, going by the current standard of living, I will tell you about 160 million Nigerians are multidimensional. Not only that, did I tell you that the World Bank came up with the statistics that 3.6% of Nigeria by 2027 will become poor. Will be added to the already existing number of poverty Nigerians by 2027. Did I tell you that? Did I tell you that UNICEF has come to tell you that 2 million Nigerian children below the age of 5 are suffering from severe acute malnutrition? My dear, did I tell you that? My dear, did I tell you that about 2 million Nigerian children are suffering from stunted growth? My dear, did I tell you that?
Well, the
my dear, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
This is having a country run by human beings. This is having a country not run by devils. If truly our leaders are sensitive, if truly our leaders have empathy, if truly our leaders feel the pulse of the citizens and feel the pulse of the citizens, now, my creed, are the citizens not crying? Are the citizens not lamenting? Is it not incumbent on the government to listen to the plight of the citizens? Now, my creed, what is difficult in it for government to come out with policies that will ameliorate the pains and the suffering of the people? Are you telling me now, Mike, that you don't know that the cost of commodities has, I won't even say triple?
Should we do this now,
yes.
Comrade Emeka Okocha? Because let's really break it down for our viewers.
Yes.
Let them understand how this will really impact on us. Because just like what you said, yes, we do know. When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into office, the pump price of petrol was 197.
197.
As of today, it has cut across the country. It's about 950, which is about 382.
382% increase,
now,
which has defied every economic reasoning, Mr. Mike.
Now, please, I'll plead with you to hold on. Now, if we take our minds also to section 162 of the tax administrative law, this does not imply to kerosene. This is not with CNG. This is not with LPG.
gas.
It is just only
petrol
and diesel.
Good.
So I want you to really help Nigerians understand, because you're just giving us statistics of how poor we are. So how would this in every way? Because with what we know, if you buy a petrol of 10,000 naira, a 500 naira subcharge will be put on this.
Yes.
So Nigerians are trying to understand, because that's where the government seems not to get the edge of your civil society and others' argument on quarrel on this. Now, tell me, how will that translate or impact negatively on Nigeria? 5%, 500 naira to 10,000 naira.
Yes.
How is this going to add more? Let's get the immediate impact.
It might sound little, it might sound insignificant. It might sound that.
Okay.
But let me tell you, the ordinary man, the layman in the street, who is a keke driver, who is the kabu driver, once he hears, and he goes to, I know he's feeling the pangs, the pains of the increment. Because like I tell you, if our governments are humans, let me tell you, yes, increment in commodities is justified. Okay. But Mike, how would you increase commodity? Already, people are buying a commodity 197. You increase it, Mike, to 382%, Mike. I just want to.
That 2 years.
Immediately you remove the first subsidy. Mike, I want to ask you, if I was living on 100,000 naira, that means I need about 400,000 naira to meet up with my daily needs. And the people's daily earnings, monthly earnings remains static. Yes. How can they meet up that kind of exclusive policy and economy? Now, do you know what's going to happen?
Yeah.
The cost of transportation will jack up again.
Okay.
It will jack up again. That means the direct impact will not be on the cost of commodities, because the only means through which we transport our goods and services is through petrol or diesel.
Okay.
So do you see why anything that touches petrol has touched the smallest man in Zengeru? Okay. Because that is the only way. Our transport system is not so developed that the government, invest in it, whereby even when the prices are cost, the citizens can leverage on government subsidies, either in transportation, to be able to tally along. But this thing is just left to the private sector and the people. So anything you do is just throwing it directly on the people. Okay. So the people are going to feel the pain. Immediately they started, you're surprised that the price of transportation will jack up, price of goods will jack up across board. And when that happens, that means it further impinges or decreases the purchasing power of the ordinary Nigerian. Okay. So that means that the hardship will not be increased, the poverty will not be increased, the hunger will not be increased, the malnutrition will not be increased the more. What are not saying that if our governments have listening ears, just as the constitution tells you that Nigeria shall be a state, based on the principle of democracy and social justice. Social justice in the sense that as they are living their life to fullest, in their chosen homes, in their comfort homes, that the average Nigerians as well should be able to afford food, should be able to afford housing, should be able to afford clothing, should be able to live life comfortably, as government has made it possible for them, because it is our inalienable right, to enjoy good governance, which they swore, which they promised to uphold and deliver. So what is coming to tell us now tells that the people do not have a listening ear. The people do not even feel the pulse of the citizens. The people, the leaders, are totally against the people, and it appears that the leaders are waging an economic war against the citizens.
Okay. Now, as much as you've said this, I will plead with you to hold on. Well, in case you're just joining us, it's a dialogue on Viewpoint, and today we're looking at a very critical one that seems to be really on the front burner of the country, and we're talking about economic-wise, and indeed Nigerians are kicking against it, just like Comrade Emeka Nwonkocha, and it's the issue of the 5% subcharge on the fuel. And you do know the federal government intends to introduce that subcharge on the 1st of January 2026, according to information made available to us. So, but will that charge really go well? Will Nigerians really enjoy it? Or would, well, just like what they said, is it really what we need at the moment, and do you feel the government will do so? But remember also, I told you we'll also be joined by an economist all the way from Abuja. He will be joining us, and we'll definitely have his view as it concerns it. But what I want us to do now is for us to go on a quick break. We need to pay our bills so we do not get subcharged. And when we come back, we'll definitely continue our discussion as we also get the views of our guests all the way from Abuja also. Let's go on a break. Well, I need to welcome you back, and we'll still will dialogue on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. And today we're looking at the 5% subcharge that's being planned to be introduced by no order, but this very administration come 1st of January 2026. But it looks as if Nigerians are not waiting for that to happen. Hence, they are already agitating. And no surprise, our guest right here in the studio seems to be having his voice the loudest as it concerns the subcharge. But anyway, like we also did inform you, we'll also be looking at the economic part of this, especially as it concerns the federal government. Hence, now we're being joined by no other person but an economist all the way live right there in Abuja. And we're talking about Mr. K. Adams. He's an economist. Let's see if we bring him on board and also get his view as it concerns this very subcharge. Good morning to you, Mr. Ben K. Adams. Nice having you on the platform. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you.
Well, I know how busy you are, a whole lot of meeting, especially as it concerns the economy right there in Abuja, and especially with the bank you're working. But I want your quick view, especially as it concerns this recent tax revenue that is being pushed by this administration. And where I want your view on it is, let's look at the industrial part of it. Now, we do know that when it comes to this kind of law, even if you now bring it on board, the industries will manufacture these goods and at the end send it to the consumers. But in every way, it's the consumers that will feel the direct impact and the hit. But let's look at it holistically. Do you feel that this recent subcharge will also have a negative effect as it concerns industries in Nigeria, or you feel different about it?
All right, thank you for having me once again. And this is a good topic to consider at this point in time, because what we are talking about will be taking effect in 2026. So it's part of the tax reform that has been introduced, and there has been agreement in several quarters on ensuring this happens.
Yes.
Now, whether it is good or is bad, I think governments or policymakers have gone beyond that point now, because there is a conclusion already on the tax reform. policy that is going to be taking effect from January 2026, as earlier stated. So, looking at the effects of this policy, especially the introduction of a 5 naira on every liter of fuel. Now, remember that prior to now, there has been a lot of taxes that have taken or that have always been collected by government. So, this tax reform seeks to harmonize all, bring or should I say, a united front to taxation. All right, when it has to do with oil and gas, because prior to now, industries in that sector have always complained about multiple taxes and how this has affected business and so on and so forth. So, government have seek to bring it under one umbrella, and that is why the introduction of the Nigeria Revenue Services has come to replace FIRS. Okay, now we are seeing a situation where government is not just taxing crude oil. Prior to now, government go after crude oil, you go sell whatever crude you get, and then bring up to 80% of whatever is the income you generated and bring it to government. These have always been affecting those playing in that sector, players in that sector. But now, government is saying it's not just the crude oil. Government is saying we are going to be taxing the finished product, which, like you have mentioned earlier on, we are talking about the petrol that car use, we are talking about the diesel that trucks and generator use, we are also talking about the ATK, all right, that airplane use, aircraft use rather. So, as a result of that, it is basically going to be thrown to the end users. Industry will be affected in the sense that they are taxed this money, but they are not going to be carrying the whole. They are going to be throwing it on the end users. All right. So, assuming currently now a liter of fuel is 100 naira. Now, that 5 naira per liter will be added to whatsoever they are selling to the end user. So, what happened at the end of the day is that as they push it to the end users, we are going to be having increase in transportation costs. We are going to be having increase in prices of goods and services that are transported from one place to the other. We are also going to be having high rates of inflation because now goods are going to be getting costlier, and then the amount of money that you need to purchase such goods will now begin to be a problem. So as a result of that, the industry, or should I say the players in this industry, will definitely be throwing it back to the end user. Now, how does this affect them? How it affects them is basically that they are going to be witnessing.
Okay, looks as if we're having network issues. Let's see how we can get him back on board. Mr. Ben K. Adams, can you hear us? Okay, well, he was just really reeling out how that will definitely affect us, or rather affect our industries, and how that can also turn out to be more of a negative trend than that of a positive one. We'll see how we can reconnect back to him, and he gives us a further view on what he feels. But let me quickly come back to you, Comrade Emeka Onwukocha, because, yeah, you've given us a full rundown of what you feel these tax reform bill will be, especially with the 5% surcharge. But I want us to look at it politically, because that's where my next question will lie. And then, no surprise, we had a view from no other person but Mr. or Dr. Moody Yusuf. You know, he's the CEO of Center for Promotion and Private Enterprise, when it said it will be more of a political risk for this government to implement such. So, do you feel it will be more of a political suicide for this administration? The APC, I mean, if they go ahead with so much anger that many Nigerians are already feeling towards this very tax reform bill, especially the 5% surcharge.
Mr. Mike, can you rephrase your question, please?
Okay, let me rephrase my question. Do you feel the APC will be shooting itself in the foot if they go ahead and let Mr. President implement this 5% surcharge? Will it be more of a political risk to them, knowing that many Nigerians are angry and we barely have 17 months to the next general elections?
It would, It would when the populace, when the electorates are sensitive of the harm being done to them by the government of the day.
Okay.
And when the electorates are committed to taking their pound of flesh.
Okay.
APC is a brand. I will tell you in confidence that since APC came on board, Nigerians have not known peace.
Wow.
Yes, I'm speaking it.
Well, that's a strong statement.
It is not about, see, I am not a party person. I do not belong to a party, to political group. As in, I am an ordinary Nigerian, who feel, the good or the bad of government policies.
Okay.
So as it were, APC is the government in place. I'm telling you that they have not brought anything good. So if Nigerians would want to take their pound of flesh, I think in 2027, if the president goes on to implement this punitive tax, I think there's no right thinking Nigerian that will wish the government to continue. A government that is putting pains on you, a government that is annihilating you, a government that is exposing you to all kinds of economic harm, a government that putting Nigerians in harm's way, a government that depriving you to live life abundantly, a government that is not attuned to the provisions of the constitution of this country, which mandates the government and those who are, operating our system to control the economy of this country and to ensure they distribute it to achieve what? Common good. So, in that narrative, I will tell you that Nigerians should be ready. If they are sensitive of their condition, if they are sensitive to make a change in their life, and they are sensitive to bring a leader that will listen to their cry and to their plight, so that we can have good governance. Good governance is possible if only your leaders will be ready to do what they expected to do.
Comrade Emeka Onkocha, it will not be good if we jump the gun. And what I mean by that is, this is more like a speculation.
Yes.
For the now.
Yes.
And in all honesty, okay, I'll plead with you to hold on. It looks as if we are now finally reconnecting to our economists in Abuja, because I have a whole lot for us to really talk about. Yes, sorry about that, Mr. Ben Kene Adams. The connection is really funny, especially as the weather is. But thank you so much for rejoining us. Can you hear me now?
Thank you. I can hear you.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, you were almost about landing on how it will really affect our industries. And you talked about growing, it will definitely increase inflation, which will in every way have a negative effect, especially as most of these industries will not be able to sell that much and produce that much on the ground that many Nigerians might really shy away from buying from them. But I'll plead with you, I know how the network is, and I will beg you, I will rather ask a separate question. Now, according to our findings, sir, we do know that this very government will rack in nothing less than 792 billion annually on account of if this subcharge is being done. And you do know this is a juicy carrot that they will not in any way shy around away from. But don't you feel that this would be a revenue boost for this administration that is already borrowing a whole lot? And don't you see this as really helping out to deal with some tooting problems that this administration is being faced with?
All right, thank you very much. Like I was saying before, the network actually told me out. It's going to be a revenue boost for the government. There is no doubt about that. The government is going to be earning a lot. However, there is also this part where it is expected that government should be wise enough to invest such revenue into renewable energy transition. At the end of the day, if you if you observe the rule or the policy on this new tax, LPG is not taxed, CNG is not taxed. So what government is driving at is we want to encourage the citizen to use more of the LPG and CNG, and that is why the presidential innovation or incentives on CNG has also rolled out numbers of cars, and state government are also following suit on that to see how they can encourage people to use more of LNG and LPG and CNG. So yes, government is going to be earning more, but then there should also be that wisdom where it is properly applied. Now, from what the presidency have also said in the last 1 or 2 weeks, there is that portion where we were made to understand that yes, they have enough money now and they don't even need to borrow. Hopefully in 2026, we will not see that happen. And then there could be a better application of the revenue such that whatsoever affects this new tax reform we bring on the citizen, we will have a situation where government will bring in incentives that will cushion the effect, especially in the side of inflation. All right. So inflation is going to be biting very hard, but then if government will wisely apply the revenue that they get from all of these, we will still be the one that we actually enjoy at the end of the day. But then, does Nigeria believe in their politicians? I think that is the next question.
Question that will rather throw to the politicians and not us answering. But before I let you finally go, I was almost asking our guests in the studio, so I'll quickly want to get your view as it concerns this. And I'm a bit curious, do you see this government finally implementing that very 5% subcharge come 1st of January 2026? Or do you feel the present outcry will definitely change their mind about it? What's your view on this?
Well, if the outcry will be of effects and they change, good enough. But if doesn't and they go ahead, like I said, there have been certain consultations that have taken place over the time. Governors have been involved, some stakeholders have been called, and then the federal government had gone ahead to say, with all of these inputs, we have a conclusion on this, and this is what is going to happen. So, as it stands currently, the federal government has actually concluded on that, and we want to go ahead with that. But like you mentioned, yes, there are certain outcry, especially on the fact that currently we buy petroleum for as much as 900, in some places 1,000 per litre. And that's very crazy. Between 2023, May 2023 till now, we have continued to see the increase in pump price of fuel. It has not gone down. Adib being is something that, okay, from 900 or 1,000, it has gone down to like 200 or 300, and you want to add 5 naira on it. I'm very sure that people will not make this much noise. But now, the rest of the noise, or should I say the way we are challenging this now, is because it's beginning to be done on people that are going to be more hardship. So I will really want to say that government can still look at this again and review it, even if it is a 1% or a 2%, considering the current situation of the economy and the hardship that a lot of people are passing through. It will be a better one. But like I said earlier also in my postulation, government intends to get more revenue, 1. 2, government intends to also begin to implement the green area, or is it the green environment policy, which is not just a Nigeria thing, it is a global thing. All right. So I believe strongly that there still be some adjustment that can be done. If that is done, then it's going to be good for all of us.
Person, economist Ben K. Adams, for joining us all the way from Abuja. I know how busy you are with the meetings that is also being scheduled on account of all of this, but thank you so much for giving us your perspective as it concerns this. And well, like you said, it's a carrot that is a bit too juicy, and you doubt if the government would, take a seat back without really implementing it. But wherever we go, we'll definitely go back to you or come back to you to get your views on it on that final day. But thank you so much for joining us. We truly appreciate your time with us. Thank you so much. Comrade Emeka Nwokocha, I need to come back to you. Now, it's just a thing that the government feels will definitely come. But if you look at the law, and especially as that law that concerns this very bill, if you look at section 616, it gives the economic minister, the finance minister, the right to bring out a gazette before this will be implemented. It will not just go ahead and be implemented, even if we are hearing speculation that it will come on the 1st of January 2026, he has to bring out a gazette according to sections 161 of that very Tax Reform Act. Now, just like I asked him, I will still come back to you because your civil society organization and others are already crying. And we've even heard in the news that there's a planned mobilization of people to kick against this. But well, even in eventuality, or it finally comes to be that, yeah, many Nigerians still cry about it. But do you see this administration going ahead and implementing it at the end of the day? That's just a question. Because it will also determine whether the cries are being heard or whether really the amount, that 792 billion that they'll be getting annually, that they feel that the country needs to redeem, in every way reduce borrowing will be. So where do we stand? Do you see them finally implementing it, or you see them jettisoning the idea itself?
My crew, I will tell you the government, over time had and is showing adamancy, about Nigerian complaints and plights, over some policies that are not actually, that are hurting them.
Yeah.
The adamancy in the sense that the government we have seen, especially this particular one, does not have the listening ear, right? You saw what happened when he removed the petroleum subsidy.
Yeah.
You see, the outcry by the poor Nigerians. You see us speaking to him like a father, that no, this is too much. There's a way you could do this. Even if you want to implement it.
I'm happy you said even if you want to implement, because we know other two major political presidential candidates also thought of removing it when they assumed office. The PDP and Labour Party also said
even if we give it to you, that okay, go on ahead and remove it, because ordinarily, if you want to really critique it, you ought not to remove it, because if you are citing corruption in this system, why not kill the corruption? There is no way in this world where one commodity or the other is not subsidized, for God's sake, Mr. Mike. And you know the role petrol plays in the economy. I have told you here that if you talk anything that touches petrol has touched the smallest man in Okitipupa. And if you are sensitive and you are empathetic, because it is the people you come to govern, you come to give them life, not to kill them, Mr. Mike. So that's what I'm saying. But if you are not empathetic, and your goals about governance is different from what good governance is all about, that is when you will be committed to doing whatever you think you want to do, because you know what you want to get out of it. Now, the government will go ahead. They will go ahead, Mr. Mike, let me tell you, go and mark my word. They are not going to listen to the outcry. Because I have told you, they have shown proofs of adamancy towards the plight and complaints of Nigerians. And when they go ahead, that's why I say, if Nigerians can be sensitive of their future, if we want to protect our future, because governance is for the people, sovereignty belongs to the people, for whom the government, him, the president, derives all his powers and authorities. We give it to him. Do you understand? And there's a social contract, Mr. Mike, we don't know. The social contract is that we have surrendered all our powers to the sovereignty. And it is left for the government to do to protect us and give us good standard of living and good governance, social equity. Now, Mr. Mike, if he goes ahead, and I tell you, he will go ahead, but it is left for Nigerians now, to now go back to the drawing boards and think, do we really want a government that is putting pace on us to continue? Because this is an outright decision, which is deliberate. It's a deliberate and decisive decision by the government to torture and to prepare Nigerians. I told you that the increment of fuel from 197 to 950, which is about 382%, it defies every economic reasoning. Didn't I tell you? A government that is sensitive and empathetic would increase the commodity, perhaps 30%, 20-30%.
But this is 5%.
I'm talking about the fuel that you have increased, the fuel has killed millions of Nigerians. You are even coming to put petrol still on the fire to still further as if the president is saying, oh, you guys have not seen anything yet. You are complaining that the removal of efficiency is killing you. I'm coming to add more to it. It's more or less like this is certainly what is coming to tell Nigerians. That's what the body language is all about. If you have the listening here, which you see policies now that will be tailored toward ameliorating the suffering and the pain that the people are going. Nigerians are groaning in poverty, in hardship, in hunger, in penury.
Okay, Comrade Emeka Wokocha, I will plead with you. We're really out of time. If we give
Which
you
leader will do
if
that?
we give you the audience, you will really rant about this all day. But I'll need to thank you because of time. We might really bring you up to see if we can really discuss still, especially as it concerns the economy. And I'm giving a special thank you to Comrade Emeka Wokocha. He's of the Civil Society for Good Governance and Democracy in Nigeria. A civil society organization that is among those leading ones that are already criticizing this move of the federal government. Thank you so much, Emeka Wokocha, for taking your time
Thank you very much
and giving us your talk, especially as you speak passionately about this. But anyway, the discussion has not ended. I'll plead with you, go to our different social media platforms. Let's have your views as it concerns this 5% surcharge, especially as it concerns petroleum products. We're talking of just petrol, fuel, and also diesel. Remember, it's not with CNG, LPG, or others, but it's basically around these two major that Nigerians feel is giving them every need to complain, knowing that it's something that they use always and will be use of it. But drop your comments. Let's get your reaction as it concerns this topic, and be rest assured I will be bringing all of that to you. But what we'll also bring to you, remember, trend will come later on, and something that's trending is cooking already. I could feel, yeah, the aroma already is in the air. But anyways, just stick around because trend will come. Messi will be leading the charge. But also remember, the news will be around the hour. And there is still Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. Let's see if we'll go on a break, and all of that will come later on. For me, Michael Gobadia, let's do that later.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Tikado! Tikado Energy Solutions Limited. Your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Tikado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Tikado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at tikado.com.ng. Tikado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
I am SP Dafe Bright, and this is Delta State Police Command. Today we'll be treating and addressing an issue that's different from what we've been doing before, not parading suspect this time, but bringing to you a very important information. Do we know that over 85% of Nigerians do password their phones, whether it's Android phones or iPhones? There's always a password. But how come when we lose our phones, by the time we go to retrieve our lines, we go to our bank to check our bank statement, we discover that these people who collected these phones must have siphoned the phones. Now, there are times the people who steal these phones, it is not your phone that they actually need. What they need is your SIM card. Now, how does the SIM card become useful to them? Not just any SIM card, but a SIM card that is linked to your bank account, the one that you usually use to receive SMS alerts. That is what they need. Now, by the time they collect your phone, steal your phone, rob you of your phone, what they do is that they remove this SIM card from your phone and insert it on another phone. So your phone does not really need to power on. They don't even need you to give them your phone password. They don't even need your ATM password. The moment they have access to your SIM card, they can do anything they want to do with your bank account, because all they need is to generate an OTP, and the message, the OTP that is called one-time password, will be sent to that your SIM card, and with that they can do anything they want to do with your account. That is why people lose millions of their life savings simply because they lost their phone. By the side of this video, we'll be doing an illustration. You will see an illustration that talks on how you can password your SIM card. Now, the topic that we are here to discuss, passwording of SIM card. When you get a phone, pick that your phone now. See how you can password your SIM card. If you password your SIM card, by the time for any reason, your phone gets to the wrong hand, even if they remove your SIM card and insert on another phone, the first thing that you will get is a prompt that you should enter your SIM PIN. The moment they cannot get the SIM PIN, they cannot use your SIM card for anything. After the trial of 3, the POC prompt will come because the SIM card will be blocked, and you can only unblock that SIM card when you have the POC number. Some of us don't have our SIM pack because on the SIM pack it is written there the SIM PIN and the POC number. But because some of us don't have our SIM pack, I would advise you to quickly locate the nearest office of your service provider, be it Airtel, Globalcom or MTN. Approach them and request for your POC number. Once you've gotten your POC number, you follow these instructions and ensure that you password your SIM PIN. Your SIM PIN is very, very important. On my phone, for instance, once you turn off the phone and you turn it back on, you must enter your SIM PIN. If you cannot enter your SIM PIN, the SIM card will be useless. And I'm telling you, once they cannot have access to your SIM card, your money will be safely in the bank. They cannot have access to. There was a time I lost my phone, and it took me about 2 weeks to go to MTN office to retrieve my SIM card. Why did I wait 2 weeks? Because I knew I had a SIM PIN. I knew they would not have access to my bank account. I knew they cannot even use my SIM card for anything. Some of these people, when they steal phone, we'll be hoping that, we'll track the phone. Some of them don't even sell the phone. They will just condemn the phone and just get the SIM card to see if they can have your money. Please, they say a word is enough for the wise. It is very, very important. Don't see this video and just pass it by. Watch this video to the end. We're almost approaching the end of the video. Ensure that you take the lesson. Please password your SIM card. They say a stitch in time save 9. It's very, very important. Make haste when the sun shines. Not be to call. You don't have to start running and start saying, what do I do? What do I do? When you can prevent it. Let's not forget, prevention, they say, is better than cure. Thank you.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
No matter where you go, no place be like home. No place like our home.
Go.
Ogbowura for mercy. And don't show, don't executive gbàjọ ìṣèkiri youth ẹnẹ dúró ní gbogbo lọ́sọ̀ ìgbà dọ́pẹ́ gbẹ́rẹ́ ọpẹ́ pàtàkì rẹ̀ nígbàdé ọ̀dẹ́rọ̀ ní ààyè bọ́ ṣe gbẹ́nẹ́ wáyé dẹ́sẹ̀ ní máa rò ẹsẹ̀ náà jù ẹnẹ máa gbẹ̀sẹ̀ ká gbára jọ nígbà gbogbo tó wá gbẹ́nẹ́ ọpẹ́ náà kà ní nígbàdé ọ̀rọ̀ ògì àmẹ́ ògbóhùn pàfọ́másì ó wá sàgbẹ́rẹ́ bàbá mi ó wá tọ́ gbẹ́nẹ́ ọ̀ ọ̀sán tó náà gbé wá níṣẹ́ kí ìwé ọ̀sánwé ó wá tó náírà dédé kẹfọ́ ẹnẹ tó ń gbowó ẹnẹ lé mẹ́mí ẹnẹ nígi ẹni wá bí wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ gbàgbé níṣẹ́ kí ìrọ̀wá ẹni wà nẹ̀yìn lọ́pọ̀ tẹ̀lé bí wọ́n fọ̀ lọ́jí inauguration nìyẹn ìwé tẹ̀lé kí náà jẹ́ ìwé ẹ̀rọ náà wá dúró ní ó gẹ́mẹ̀ ẹni dọ́pẹ́ tó wá gbà ní oṣù gbà nígbẹ̀rẹ̀ ló ṣe ìgbà nígbà tó rẹ̀ àdédé ló ṣe ìgbà nígbà àyà rẹ̀ dọ́tọ́ ní kété pẹ́nẹ́ o níṣẹ́ kí ìrọ̀gbá o ó gẹ́mẹ̀ ẹni dọ́pẹ́ o ó gẹ́mẹ̀.
Ugeoyokoro TV.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh Baby.
TME Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife Naija Celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different. Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Good morning. Welcome to our daily news roundup right here on Atlantic TV. I am Ikichi Tejere. Here are our top stories. Federal government disburses 192 billion naira to primary health care, targets stronger accountability. Federal government demands Dangote's anti-union policy as Falana backs Nupeng. Utomi Jega Falana Agbakoba lead push for electoral reforms ahead of 2027. CBN orders banks, fintechs to route regulatory reports through compliance departments. U.S. tightens visa policy, interviews must hold in country of residence. FIFA appoints Gabonese officials for Nigeria-South Africa World Cup clash. Now to the news in full. The federal government says it has disbursed more than 192 billion naira to strengthen primary health care facilities nationwide since 2019 under the Basic Health Care Provision Fund. Officials say the reforms, tagged BHCPF 2.0, are aimed at improving accountability, transparency, and service delivery at the grassroots. According to the Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Muyi Aina, over 8,300 healthcare facilities now receive quarterly allocations ranging between 600,000 naira and 800,000 naira, depending on the size and patient load. The funds, he said, are used to cover operational costs, human resources, essential medicines, and infrastructure support. Dr. Aino, however, noted that despite increased budgetary allocations, Nigeria's health system continues to face pressures from currency fluctuations, rising service costs, and accountability gaps. The federal government also revealed plans to tackle vaccine wastage and procurement inefficiencies, saying between 15 and 25% of vaccines remain unaccounted for. Officials say the reforms will save Nigeria $500 million in procurement costs over the next 5 years. He said reforms are being expanded to include a direct funding model that channels payments for commodities and health worker salaries into designated accounts, making the process more transparent and traceable. Human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has thrown his weight behind the National Union of Petroleum and Gas Workers, NUPENG, over its planned indefinite strike against the Dangote Group's alleged anti-union policy. Falana, in a statement on Sunday, urged the federal government to call Dangote Petroleum Refinery to order, warning that attempts to stop new drivers from joining existing oil and gas unions violates Nigeria's constitution, the Trade Union Act, and international labor conventions ratified by the country. The PENG had earlier announced an indefinite strike starting on Monday, which begins today, the 9th of September 2025, in protest of the alleged policy which it says undermines workers' rights to freedom of association. Falana maintained that Nigeria's workers cannot be stripped of their rights to unionize and urged government agencies to intervene immediately to avert the looming strike and protect democratic freedoms. Falana noted that even under British colonial rule, Nigerian workers fought for and won the right to unionize. He warned that the Dangote Group must not be allowed to erode these hard-earned rights in modern Nigeria. Some of Nigeria's most prominent statesmen and activists are uniting in a new push for sweeping electoral reforms ahead of the 2027 general elections. The National Consultative Front, in partnership with the Labour and Civil Society Front, has fixed October 1st for a national dialogue on electoral reforms. NC Front spokesperson Malam Hamisu Santuraki confirmed the dialogue date following a consultative meeting in Lagos. He said the campaign will demand compulsory electronic transmission of results, tougher penalties for vote buying, early and diaspora voting, proportional representation, and special seats for women and vulnerable groups. The movement, according to organizers, will also launch the Alliance for Defense of Democracy as a citizens' platform to coordinate the reform drive. The October 1st dialogue will build on earlier recommendations from the National Constitutional Summit, with organizers insisting that the time to strengthen Nigeria's democracy is now. Among the leaders spearheading the campaign are Professor Pat Utomi, Professor Atahiru Jega, Femi Falana, Dr. Olisa Agbakoba, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, Joe Ajero of the NLC, and several others described as leaders of conscience. The new Nigeria People's Party has nullified the purported expulsion of Honorable Abdul Munin Jibrin, member representing Kiru Bebeji Federal Constituency of Kano State, describing the move as illegal and politically motivated. National Secretary of the party, Comrade Ogini Olaposi, Sunday, said the pronouncement came from Hashim Suleiman Dangurawa, an already expelled state chairman of the party. He described the decision as a joke taken too far, stressing that Dungurawa has no legal standing in NNPP matters. The party further accused former presidential candidate Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso of orchestrating the move in the bid to discredit Jibrin. Kwankwaso, now a confused politician, is behind the plot to discredit Honorable Abdul Munin. Dungurawa, already expelled by the court, has no local standing to expel anyone from NNPP. But the party declaring Jibrin's expulsion null and void, the NNPP says its focus will now be on reconciling factions and preparing for the 2027 polls. INI alleged that Kwankwaso's failed political maneuvers and loyalty battles within the party were behind the crisis. He also warned that Governor Abba Yusuf's loyalty to Kwankwaso could jeopardize NNPP's hold on Kano ahead of the 2027 elections. The African Democratic Congress in Ebonyi State is stepping up preparations for the 2027 general elections with a coalition of defectors from major opposition parties. The party says its focus is on ideas, inclusivity, and credible alternatives for Nigerians. At a strategic meeting in Abakaliki, the ADC received new members from the PDP, Labour Party, SDP, APGA, YPP, and even disenfranchised members of the ruling APC. Speaking at the event, former Labour Party senatorial candidate Chief Linus Okorie expressed confidence that ADC has the capacity to take power in 2027 through vision-driven leadership rather than propaganda. Party leaders say the coalition will serve as a vehicle to rescue Nigerians from economic hardship and offer a new style of governance. With the latest defections and growing coalition, ADC leaders in Ebonyi insist the party is well positioned to challenge for power in 2027, promising Nigerians transparent and inclusive governance. National Vice Chairman, Southeast Chief Fred Onwe, described ADC as a grassroots-driven movement, while State Chairperson Mrs. Jennifer Adibe Nwafo criticized the ruling APC for failing to meet citizens' expectations. She urged stakeholders across party lines to collapse their structures into ADC ahead of 2027. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and President Bola Tinubu's administration are trading accusations over alleged repression of opposition voices ahead of the 2027 elections. Atiku, speaking through his media aide, alleged that the government is using security agencies and political thuggery to weaken opposition parties. He cited the police invitation of former Kaduna Governor Nasir El-Rufai, the attack on an ADC meeting in Kebbi, and the disruption of a civic meeting in Katsina as signs of a clampdown. But the presidency has dismissed Atiku's allegations, describing them as baseless and politically motivated. It is obvious the government is encouraging political thuggery to intimidate the opposition, said by Atiku. The allegations are baseless. The government had no hand in these incidents. The clash underscores rising political tension as Nigeria edges closer to the 2027 polls, with opposition parties accusing the ruling APC of tightening the political space. Presidential spokesperson Abdulaziz said El-Rufai was only invited by the police over comments he made at the Kaduna event, which also reportedly had armed supporters in attendance. He stressed that the government had no hand in the incident in Kebbi and Katsina, insisting there was no attempt to silence opposition voices. You're watching our Daily News Roundup. We'll go for a short break. More news stories when we return.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Baby.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
As you know, you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different. Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined, uniquely different.
Welcome back. Now to some business stories. The Central Bank of Nigeria has directed all banks, payment service providers, and other financial institutions to submit their regulatory reports and correspondence directly to its compliance department. The Apex Bank said the directive is part of its broader reform to strengthen regulatory effectiveness and streamline oversight of non-prudential and emerging risks. According to the CBN, the newly created compliance department will now supervise financial crime risks, market conduct, enterprise security, as well as corporate governance and ESG oversight. The bank emphasized that the move is designed to clarify institutional responsibilities and ensure a more coordinated compliance framework. The CBN hereby formally notifies all regulated institutions that correspondence and inquiries on compliance matters must be directed to the Compliance Department through established communication channels. The Apex Bank says it looks forward to the cooperation of all institutions to ensure a smooth transition and uphold the highest standards of regulatory compliance. The department will also handle areas such as cybersecurity, data protection, third-party risk management, and sanctions compliance. Financial institutions are expected to receive direct communication from the CBN on specific points of contact and submission procedures. Away from business now to the foreign scene, the World Health Organization has raised alarm over instability at the United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention, warning that the agency's work must be protected at a time when global health challenges demand strong leadership. WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, in a statement on Sunday, praised the US CDC as a global center of excellence whose practices have been adopted by many nations. He recalled that institutions like Ethiopia's Public Health Agency and the Africa CDC were modeled after the US CDC. The call comes amid leadership resignations, proposed budget cuts, and concerns from public health experts about the future of the agency. WHO praises CDC as a global model for public health. Dr. Tedros emphasized that while no institution is perfect, the US CDC has been invaluable to global health, and its mission must be safeguarded from political and financial pressures. The American Society of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene had earlier expressed concern over senior-level resignations and a proposed 20% cut in CDC funding by the U.S. House of Representatives. The group described the CDC as a cornerstone of disease prevention, outbreak response, and health research, warning that instability could weaken Americans' public health defenses. The United States has announced sweeping changes to its visa policy, requiring all non-immigrant visa applications to attend interviews strictly in their country of nationality or residence. According to the U.S. State Department, the directive, effective as at September 6, 2025, which supersedes all previous rules that allowed applicants to process visas in third countries. The policy aims to streamline adjudications, manage global backlogs, and enhance security. The U.S. clarified that exemptions may be granted only for humanitarian or medical emergencies and specific foreign policy reasons. For many Nigerians accustomed to traveling abroad to secure faster interview slots, the new directive means adjusting to longer wait periods at home. The U.S. government insists the change is necessary to ensure fairness, security, and accountability in its visa process. The updated policy particularly affects nationals from countries with no routine U.S. visa operations who must now apply at designated consulates in specific third countries. However, applicants outside their country of residence will face longer wait times, no refund for rejected applications, and strict qualification hurdles. Away from the foreign scene now to sports news, FIFA has announced the officiating team for Tuesday's crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying showdown between Nigeria's Super Eagles and South Africa in Bloemfontein. The match, billed as one of the defining fixtures of the African qualifiers, will be staged at the Toyota Stadium. World Football's governing body confirmed that Gabonese referee Pierre Ginslane Atko will take charge of the high-stakes encounter. He will be assisted by compatriots Boris Malaise Diktsoga and Amos Abington Ndong as assistants 1 and 2, while Craig Fleury Mokangni has been named 4th official. Additional oversight comes from Olivier Safari Kabene of the Democratic Republic of Congo, who will serve as referee assessor, while Ugandan official Mike Letty has been appointed match commissioner. The Bloemfontein clash comes as both Nigeria and South Africa battle for top spot in the group, with the Super Eagles sitting just behind the Bafana Bafana. Fans across the continent are bracing for 19 minutes of football drama that could reshape the qualification race. Atko is no stranger to the big stage, having handled several CAF Champions League fixtures. His appointment is expected to bring calm and neutrality to what is already shaping up to be a fiery contest between two long-standing rivals. French champions Paris Saint-Germain are demanding urgent reforms after what they described as serious and avoidable injuries to Ousmane Dembele and Desire Doué while on international duty with France. Both players picked up muscle injuries in Friday's World Cup qualifier against Ukraine. PSG confirmed Dembele will be sidelined for around 6 weeks with a hamstring injury, while Doué faces at least 4 weeks out with a calf problem. In a strongly worded statement, the club criticized the French Football Federation, saying their medical warnings and workload recommendations for both players had been ignored. The League One giants have written to the FFF urgently requesting a new and more transparent medical protocol to ensure proper collaboration between club and national team doctors. PSG urgently requests a new protocol that is transparent and collaborative, ensuring systematic exchanges between club and national team medical staff. France coach Didier Deschamps responded by saying he understands PSG's frustration, but insisted that there is no such thing as zero risk. Dembele and Doué will now miss PSG's League One return this weekend and their Champions League opener against Atalanta on the 17th of September. PSG added that while they remain committed to Les Blues, incidents like this should trigger lasting change in how player health is managed during the international duty. And with that sports news, we come to the end of our daily news roundup for today, right here on Atlantic TV. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms for more updates and stories. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nkechi Tejere. Have a good day.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Tikado! Tikado Energy Solutions Limited. Your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Tikado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Tikado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at tikado.com.ng. Tikado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
I am SP Dafebright and this is Delta State Police Command. Today we'll be treating and addressing an issue that's different from what we've been doing before. Not parading suspect this time, but bringing to you a very important information. Do we know that over 85% of Nigerians do password their phones, whether it's Android phones or iPhones? There's always a password. But how come when we lose our phones, by the time we go to retrieve our lines, we go to our bank to check our bank statement, we discover that these people who collected these phones must have siphoned the phones. Now, there are times the people who steal these phones, it is not your phone that they actually need. What they need is your SIM card. Now, how does the SIM card become useful to them? Not just any SIM card, but a SIM card that is linked to your bank account, the one that you usually use to receive SMS alerts. That is what they need. Now, by the time they collect your phone, steal your phone, rob you of your phone, what they do is that they remove this SIM card from your phone and insert it on another phone. So your phone does not really need to power on. They don't even need you to give them your phone password. They don't even need your ATM password. The moment they have access to your SIM card, they can do anything they want to do with your bank account, because all they need is to generate an OTP, and the message, the OTP that is called one-time password, will be sent to that your SIM card, and with that they can do anything they want to do with your account. That is why people lose millions of their life savings simply because they lost their phone. By the side of this video, we'll be doing an illustration. You will see an illustration that talks on how you can password your SIM card. Now, the topic that we are here to discuss, passwording of SIM card. When you get a phone, pick that your phone now. See how you can password your SIM card. If you password your SIM card, by the time for any reason, your phone gets to the wrong hand, even if they remove your SIM card and insert on another phone, the first thing that you will get is a prompt that you should enter your SIM PIN. The moment they cannot get the SIM PIN, they cannot use your SIM card for anything. After the trial of 3, the POC prompt will come because the SIM card will be blocked, and you can only unblock that SIM card when you have the POC number. Some of us don't have our SIM pack, because on the SIM pack it is written there the SIM PIN and the POC number. But because some of us don't have our SIM pack, I would advise you to quickly locate the nearest office of your service provider, be it Airtel, Globalcom or MTN. Approach them and request for your POC number. Once you've gotten your POC number, you follow these instructions and ensure that you password your SIM PIN. Your SIM PIN is very, very important. On my phone, for instance, once you turn off the phone and you turn it back on, you must enter your SIM PIN. If you cannot enter your SIM PIN, the SIM card will be useless. And I'm telling you, once they cannot have access to your SIM card, your money will be safely in the bank. They cannot have access to. There was a time I lost my phone, and it took me about 2 weeks to go to MTN office to retrieve my SIM card. Why did I wait 2 weeks? Because I knew I had a SIM PIN. I knew they would not have access to my bank account. I knew they cannot even use my SIM card for anything. Some of these people, when they steal phone, we'll be hoping that, we'll track the phone. Some of them don't even sell the phone. They will just condemn the phone and just get the SIM card to see if they can have your money. Please, they say a word is enough for the wise. It is very, very important. Don't see this video and just pass it by. Watch this video to the end. We're almost approaching the end of the video. Ensure that you take the lesson. Please password your SIM card. They say a stitch in time save 9. It's very, very important. Make haste when the sun shines. Not be to come. You don't have to start running and start saying, what do I do? What do I do? When you can prevent it. Let's not forget, prevention, they say, is better than cure. Thank you.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined, uniquely different.
Back. If you're just joining, welcome to Trendy on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. I am Mercy Erabo, and I am not alone yet. I have with me Michael Gobadia, and together we'll be talking about all the trending gist on the internet, and of course give our opinions about them. And for our first gist today, Mr. Michael, the Olu of Warri is at it again. Ogiame Atuashe III, CFR, the Olu of Warri. He just approved a special intervention to assist Ishekiri students who graduated from Novena University under the Presidential Amnesty Program and are unable to get cleared and go for their National Youth Service Corps. He just approved this intervention to help clear off their tuition fee, and this is a good one. Coming again from the Olu of Warri, like this man is really, really doing his best for the Ishekiri people. Mr. Michael, what do you see? How do you see this?
We really need to thank His Royal Majesty, and we're talking about no other, but Atuashe III, CFR, the Olu of Warri, for doing this. You know, he loves education.
Exactly.
And not only that, he understands the plight of a whole lot of young persons and their aspiration. And that's why I feel he's really doing this. We really need to thank His Royal Majesty for coming to the aid and assistance of these students.
Yes.
Education is number one.
Number one.
In not just only removing poverty or people from poverty, but also in any way reshaping the future.
Yeah.
And he's adding his own stamp to it, and we really need to thank him so much.
I'm sure most of these students must have given up thinking that, oh, maybe this is just the end of the road for them. But all thanks to the Olu of Warri, Ogiame Atuashe III, CFR, for this one that he did for the Ishekiri students. Well, for our second story today, while some of us are still trying to complete our rent for the year, some of our politicians are busy shopping for brand new houses worth 155 million naira. Wow, a whooping 155 million naira, Mr. Michael. Yes, the Lagos State government has set aside 6.2 billion naira in its 2025 budget to acquire 40 properties in Lagos and Abuja, and handing each of it to its lawmakers, valued at about 155 million naira. Mr. Michael, I think politics is the new oil money, Mr. Michael.
Well, that's why you see many Nigerians are really agitated when they come out with unnecessary taxes. You could even listen to our dialogue, you could see the ranting of our guests. And when you see some political office holders having more than enough, because you will not tell me these persons do not have their own houses they've built, but saying now not just federal lawmakers, but state lawmakers having every right to own properties, not just in Lagos that they are giving the laws they are serving for, but they also have the right to own houses in Abuja. The question now becomes, what are they doing? Are we all on the same page as it concerns cutting down on unnecessary spending, or are we on different pages? And that's where Nigerians are not happy, and it is all about them serving the people and not them serving themselves.
Imagine getting a 155 million naira house as a goodbye present. Mr. Michael, I actually attend wedding ceremonies even without souvenirs. So these ones will just sit there, talk, and when they're done, they just give them 155 million naira worth of house. All you need to do, just spend 4 years, and after just 4 years in the house, you're entitled to a house. Mr. Michael, please, can I get the criteria to go into the house?
Well, I'm not surprised if you join politics in 2027. For me, I might be voting for her, depending on the political party.
All right, so while some of our lawmakers are there busy trying to shop houses, I am here always trying to shop for trending gist for you out there. Yes, our second story. So remember President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came out last week to say, yes, we've met our revenue for 2025, and then the economy is stable. Mr. President, Stable like how exactly? Because while you're saying the economy is stable, Nigeria is busy signing off a paper for loan from World Bank. They're trying to get $1.75 billion World Bank loan for agriculture, health, and other sectors. And Mr. Michael, you were saying last week that we've really met the budget, and I was saying that if we've met the budget, I don't want to accept what they're saying. I want to feel it. I want to feel it that we've actually met. And now we are saying that they are trying to take a loan again. How stable is this economy?
Well, the question is, when that news broke out last week, I only read it out. I did not say. I'm not a spokesman of the government.
Okay.
I am not a part of the presidential media team.
Okay.
I'm only a journalist reading out the information.
Okay.
Now, they said no more borrowing. Now, also, this is 1.75 billion United States dollars, as they say, for agriculture and health. But what Mr. President said also last week, that no more domestic borrowing, so he can go overseas to borrow.
Oh, really?
That's what is stated there.
Okay.
But irrespective, they can hit their target. A company can also hit its target, but they will still go and borrow to finance other sectors. And I feel that's what they are doing. But as I'm not a spokesman to the federal government, we'll be waiting to hear from the spokesperson of the federal government on what this money intends to do. I know they said it's for health, agriculture, and others, but a better explanation will be in order. So Mercy does not come here and said, I said. So we are waiting for them.
Okay, the government says, and Mr. Michael said, but he said he did not said.
Yeah,
Okay,
did not say.
the government says
said.
the economy is stable, yet we are still borrowing. Well, I hope this does not end up being another trending gist with no impact, because at this point, I don't think we need more debts. We need more results and not debts. But while they're trying to borrow, I'll be here borrowing vibes to give you entertainment. Yes, for our third story, this one is actually a very sad story of a young woman named Deborah Moses, also known as Deborah Porch, who lost her life in the hands of her ex, known as Lintex Ogale. And reports have it that this guy has been abusing her even in the whole relationship, and she had to move on with her life. But the guy said, if I cannot have you, then nobody else will have you. And I don't think that is love. I think that is obsession. And this has really raised questions in my head about toxic relationship, abuse, jealousy, and obsession. Like, love is actually sweet, Mr. Michael, but you see, when it comes to obsession, that's a total different story.
It baffles me to see or definitely hear this story. It's all about bitter breakup, irrespective of how bitter it has been.
Yeah.
You know, life is to be enjoyed. You move on. And you don't know, you leaving her will give you an opportunity to meet someone great. But telling Nigerians you did that on account of you will not have any other person have her, you do not own her. You were not the one that brought her to the world, so you do not have that right. And I feel the law should take its full course. There should be no exception on the law sticking his hand on this mother. Remember the Salome that also was killed by a so-called boyfriend. I'm happy that case has come to a conclusion in a very short time. I wish this will also go towards that route, so at least justice is being served. You do not have the right to anybody's life, whether your ex, your present, or your past, or your future. Please, it is unacceptable, and I feel the court should take the proper thing to do, and it should be sentenced appropriately.
On a more serious note, I really wish her soul rest in peace, and I hope she gets all the justice that
this
she
is
wants.
also a pointer to many young ladies. They should understand their partners.
Yeah.
If you see he's toxic, if you feel he's violent, if he hits you the first time, there's every tendency he'll hit you a second, third, and fourth time. So if you notice all of that in early relationship, quickly call it a quit. Don't let it extend for too long.
But she actually quitted, and this guy was just obsessed.
After they've dated for a couple of months.
Okay, so according to Mr. Michael, if you are in any unsafe relationship, abusive relationship,
verbal, physical,
don't be silent about it. Talk to someone. If possible, run away for your life. This is for your own good. And I pray the soul of the deceased rest in peace and she gets all the justice that she wants. So that's our last story for today, Mr. Michael. So I saw those social media gist that has been buzzing on social media about men hitting the big 3-0 and 4-0 and are still bachelors. And some people say it's because of the economy, some say it's by choice. We have some reactions. Let's see. Okay, guys, there's a pandemic of single men slowly hitting 30s and 40s and still unmarried. What's going on? So let's see some of the reactions. Facing harsh economies, heavy cultural expectations and the fear of broken homes, many are choosing to wait until they are stable. Some are seeking deeper compatibility, and others are redefining fulfillment beyond traditions. It's less a pandemic and more an evolution of choice, but more practically on the cadence of socio-economic dynamics. Let's see if we have more reactions. They won't stop cheating. No woman wants to be with a cheating man. So like we said, some people feel it's by choice. Same goes to the other gender. The Nigerian economy is getting worse. So a whole lot of persons think that this has to do with the Nigerian economy. That's why we have more of 30 people. Okay, we have more. Yeah, there's such a thing as he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. How can you find when you've not searched? The work is in searching. There are many and plenty wives out there. Really? Okay. I prefer having kids than marriage. Wow. It's useless now in this generation. Get kids from different women under a contract or a surrogate. Hire a nanny and boom, you have a family. No attachments, no attention, no drama. That's a lot. Every young man in Nigeria today is under pressure on all fronts of their lives. House rent, shop rent, looking for where to borrow money to support their business, or pressure to repay loans. Majority of Nigerian girls not doing anything. They are the same people waiting for marriage. How would it work out? Wow. Wow. Men are tired of being slaves in marriage. Living freely and breathing happily as a single man is unquantifiable bliss. Well, I didn't say so.
If they think like that, we'll go on and talking about this. But the truth is, for me, I feel it's two major ones.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an evolution. It's not just really affecting Nigerians, it's worldwide. Marriages are no more a social contract to many.
Okay.
And others are also feeling the heat, especially concerning the economy. You will not believe that a couple of years back, a bag of rice was 8,000 naira. And if you buy like just 3 or 4 bags, you're able to do a wedding. But now a bag of rice is almost 100 and something thousand. If you buy 4 bags, remember you're still going to buy a car for 1 million. You're going to rent a hall for at least 350,000 naira, if not more. You're going to buy drinks when a pack of 12 soft drinks is about 4,000. So when you look at all of those costs, and we're still talking about not just the wedding ceremony itself, we're talking about you paying for a house, yourself and your spouse intend to stay.
Then
The economy is really not that favorable to marriages at the moment. And not just only that, you can also look at the social part of it. Many persons are seeing many marriages crumble, and that phobia, that fear you have, young people have, it's like, okay, why not wait? Will I wait so much, get married and later end up in divorce? Why not kind of just sit down and wait and search, and maybe one good thing from a different gender will just come my way. So it's a whole lot of, it's a mixture of almost everything in between, economic, social change, and all of that.
So you out there watching, do you think all of this, I am not ready, is it because of the economy, or it's they're just feeling the vibes of being single? Well, you can drop your comments. Of course, you can engage with us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, at Atlantic Media and TV. So the truth is, love will always trend. Doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're 25, 35, or 45, just make sure it's with the right person. And because the only pandemic is when you actually end up with the wrong person. Well, talking about marriage, love is in the air again. Otedola Temi Otedola and Mr. Easy finally tied the knot. I know so many people have been waiting for this for long. Well, you know, this whole relationship thing started about 2017, and they've all, exactly, people have been waiting for this. And you see this wedding thing, it wasn't really a small thing. It's not the usual Owambe, Mr. Michael. This is billionaire daughter plus music superstar levels of wedding. So you know what to expect now. Wow. We saw dignitaries, we saw the likes of Dangote in that wedding. We also saw the owner of Boa Cement. He was also there, and all that dignitaries. So it wasn't just the regular kind of Owambe. And we saw Femi Otedola giving speech to his daughter, telling her that you need to succumb to your husband. Like, that's a good man out there, Mr. Michael. I'm sure some rich men might just be like, he married you because of the money. So, but the man said, you need to succumb to your husband. He is your new boss. No more calling of daddy, daddy. And then we actually found out that Mr. Easy is not a broke man like the Nigerians and netizens have tagged him to be. Dangote actually gave a speech talking about Mr. Easy having businesses in over 18 African countries. So he's not actually a broke man. But you see, okay, congratulations to Femi, to the Otedolas. Congratulations to the Ajiba Days. Yes, talking about Ajiba Days, Mr. Michael. So, Temi could not wait to change her name. Immediately she got married, she just changed her name to Temi Ajiba Day, and people didn't find that funny, especially a Nigerian version of feminists. They came out to say, why will you change your name? Why will you change your surname? This man married you because of this powerful name and you're changing your name. Okay, let's normalize women not changing their names to their husband's name. Interesting. Okay, this one says, so na Agba for you want to keep her surname. Okay, I know who tells you that her husband's name will not be sweet. Please give me something else. Yeah, we have other reactions. Temi Otedola don't change name to Mrs. Ajibade. Poor man Pikin go dey argue say she no fit change surname for any man. Interesting. She's Mrs. Temi Otedola Ajibade. That's not true. She's Mrs. Temi Ajibade. Temi changing her name shouldn't be a yardstick for other women. Women are allowed to do what works best for them. Let's see if we have more reactions. Temi Otedola don't change name. Okay, I think that's all we have. So the truth is, they came out to say, why would she change her name? But what's with this whole thing of women getting married and they feel they don't want to change their husband's name? Some of them feel they should add their husband's name to their dad's name, not just removing the dad's name completely. What do you think about it?
Well, anyway, it was not so in the past. I could still remember in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. This idea crept up early 2000 to where we are now, and most ladies would prefer adding their father. So at least that generational link is not lost. Yeah. But, you know, if you're getting married, it's just there. You need to change your name to your husband's name. That's how it should be. But nowadays, most women, feminists feel like, well, you should also do something to let them know where you're coming from, the background from there. But, you know, she did the right thing. She changed her name from Otedola to Ajibade because she's now Mrs. Ajibade and not Miss Otedola. So let her be. If you feel you need to stick with your father's name and have a linkage to him on the mind, you don't have any room again in your father's house, well, so be it. But the best room you can be is being your husband, so both of you can grow, raise a family that will be profitable, not just to you, but to the nation itself. So Nigerian feminists, I don't know why Nigerian feminist is different from the usual feminists we know. Nigerian feminists, they tend to take things out of, I don't know, but the truth is, a changing of surname should not be by choice. It's a must. You're married to this person. He owns you. I don't know why you're saying his marriage, it doesn't own me. It's not supposed to be a contract. You're married to this person and he owns you. And of course, you're supposed to take his surname. Well, congratulations once again to Mr. Easy and
Femi Otedela, now known as Mr. and Mrs. Ajibade. Congratulations to you both, and I pray that your love keep trending in the right way. Yes, this is where we have to call it a wrap on trending on Viewpoint on Atlantic Media and TV. Today, I hope you enjoyed every bit of it, because I enjoyed myself too, and I'm sure Mr. Mike enjoyed himself
Well, anyway, I
too.
enjoyed myself from the beginning, from the paper review straight to dialogue. The news came, and now trending. Well, it has been a very awesome time.
So this is where we'll call it a wrap. And of course, you know, you can engage with us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, at Atlantic Media and TV. Of course, drop your comments and we'll respond to them. So this is Mercy Irabo saying, see you same time tomorrow. Bye for now.
Well, I'm Michael Gobadia. It's a lovely day and the beginning of another awesome new week. Go out there, do what you need to do, and indeed enjoy your time. We'll see you tomorrow.